Well, hello, my YouTube friend. I am extremely pleased not only to have scored that knife, but to make also this video today to speak about RAPHAEL Durand, whom I really like as a person and as knife maker. He's just incredible. I absolutely love that guy. So. Some of you may know him because he won the award of the best new maker. I want to say in The Gathering, maybe, or Blade, maybe Blade, I don't know. For the life of me, I can't remember, but he won this award, so maybe this is a way for you to know him, and of course, through his knife, that become more and more famous with time, and for a good reason, because they look fantastic. Look at this knife. I mean, it looks like wicked. It's so organic. The feel in hand is so phenomenal. I mean, who wouldn't want to have that kind of design in hand? Just fantastic knife. So yeah, RAPHAEL, a word about him. He started making knives, not really knives, but as a professional, he's doing that for the past 10 years. But he started like 20 years ago. He was in a company, a kind of medieval company, you know. They were wearing all those outfits, medieval outfit. They were going to some festival, and they had their own, swords or whatever, but no one could, found those swords anywhere. So actually they had to forge them and to build them. So this is how he started with knives. Ever since, he moved to Thiers. Thiers in France is one of the two big places where they make knives. You have first Lyol, maybe you know Lyol, those really traditional French knives with the B, the logo as the B inside. And you have Thiers, which is the second most important place, and probably the two only place in France with this big tradition of cutlery that stands there for centuries. So he's there for, the last 10 years, and he's making, fixed blade. Of course, he's still making fixed blade, but he went to folders, and with folders, he decided to go mainly with slip joints and those lockbacks. And he's doing them in a way that is incredible. You saw me playing with that knife. Usually that kind of knife is something you play with with two hands, It's really unlikely to be able to deploy a blade as easily as you see me doing that, like that, and to deploy, to release the lock like that. That smoothness is incredible. He went to something that is so precisely, I hear the noise here, boom, check here. We're going to review the knife, of course, but his work is so precise that is just absolutely incredible. And also he made it sturdy for you American. Because in France, usually when people release a blade like that, usually they are smooth, they accompany the blade like that and easily like that in order to protect the spring. And actually, when he started doing knives, he didn't put any kind of stop pin, or you see there's a stop pin down there. So his spring went like they broke, and now he added more sturdiness and the stop pin. This way you can, boom, close it like that, and nothing will ever happen. So yeah, I was really happy to be able to score this knife, because actually it doesn't take orders, and you have to be quite fast. You have actually literally to be the first at his table in order to have the chance to score his knives. Man, what a beautiful design. So I was not sure about not the design, but the way it's finished. This is actually engraved by one of his good friends, Serge Raoult, who is an engraver that works only with small tool and with his eyes, no machine, nothing. So I was not sure about the overall design with the theme of the Born to Kill or whatever, but at the end of the day, when I had it in hand, I knew that it had to be with me. That we're gonna see that. It's just beautiful work from Serge here. Absolutely fantastic, all in all. Now let's start a review about the knife, since we talked about that. So I spoke about Raphael, right? Yeah, I told you about him. Now let's check his design. All of his handle have a tremendous amount of contouring. Check that. It's just fantastic. Of course, you have the work of engraving, but all of his knives are extremely contoured. And really, I love that. This one is probably the lesser contoured. Other than the others are like contouring here, but check that. I mean, here it's like everywhere it's contoured. He's doing such a great work in working his handle. So let's talk about this engraving of Serge while we're at it. I think it's G10. I would say I want to say it's G10, the material, but who cares? Check that. Understand that he doesn't work with machines, so this is like done by hand. It's like stippling it here. It has to be a freaking hassle to make. Then he created those. You see, it's like in the convexity of the handle here, you can tell how much is contoured here. So he built those things, those skulls, to insert them there. Very nice job. Look at the deeples you have also on the pivot. Very nice. Love that engraving. Again, it might look kind of funky from distance, but honestly, it looks phenomenal in hand. Born to Kill, another skull, and the target here. Just incredible. And again, the overall aspect works well because you have this like crazy engraving. You have the spacer in green that, you know, looks a little bit like, you know, this is like almost a theme of the Harley, you know, for Harley riders, which I am actually. So that's why probably it spoke to me even better. I love skulls, as I don't know if you know my tattoos, but I love skulls for ages. I love my Harleys, so black and orange is like really the theme of the Harley, and of course the Born to Kill. So somehow it resonated with me, and all of it, you know, speaks for a kind of a rider's knife. Even the finish, the stonewash finish, very deep stonewash. Usually, if I want to go to one of Raphael's knife, I would love to see either his hand rubbed, that is just like sublime, really, honestly, one of the best hand rubbed I've seen, or to see him work with Michael Moin, his buddy Michael Moin, Sandmai or Damascus, Sandmai mostly, that are just incredible. So stonewash would be the last thing I would choose. But on this knife, I couldn't imagine another finish on the blade. And it works so well. And it cuts like hell. This is something that is designed to be used. With all the contouring that you have on this handle and the shape, I've talked about that on previous video. The shape that is convex here on a handle makes it for the best grip you can imagine. This is the most fitted grip you can imagine. If it's like straight, of course it's good too, but it's kind of slippery. You don't have like a grip really on it. This one feels so secured and comfortable, you know, and with the jimping that is extremely effective. I can tell you that you can cut, use it like you want. This knife won't budge, and the sturdiness of the knife is incredible. The tolerances are insane and yet very smooth. Check that. Oh, this lock is crazy. Check the tolerances. Just fantastic work here. And I've mentioned the smoothness, but you can, as you have seen me deploying the blade, you know that it has to be smooth. With the lockback, it has to be smooth. Fantastic. Yeah, a work of art, a very nice mechanics, and again, I love the sound of it. Whenever either you disengage it or you close it, boom, and that won't budge for sure. And hear that, bam! I love that noise, that sound, the sound that it makes. So, you know, as artistically wise, I absolutely adore it, especially the fact that it's a collaboration with Serge Raoult. You know, there are a bunch of friends there. Raphael, Serge, Michael Moin. So the best would have been, you know, to have the work of Serge, the knife from Raphael, and maybe some Sandmai. from Mike. But I'm not despairing, and I know that at some point I'll get something like that if I wait enough. But I will have something that is that has Michael Moins and Mike for sure. That or a hand rod from Raphael. My friends, what can I say? I cannot. I mean, recommend you more than that to get one of his knives. If ever you have the opportunity to have some, I wouldn't recommend you to lock to unlock, sorry, the blade as I do, because you see sometimes it can go further, but it's quite secured. I tried it like 100 times. The blade will never go to my finger if I put the right strength. It suffices. But this is something that I wanted to mention. Actually, as I told you, this kind of knife is a traditional knife. I don't know if I mentioned it, but Raphael doesn't do any kind of liner locks, frame locks, or whatever, slip joints, and only a lockback like that, or fixed blade, of course. But sorry. So when you see his knives, you see more like a traditional knife, something that you're gonna play with two hands. But hopefully, I've shown you on this video from the start that this is something, and I know that you are very. I was going to say picky, but it's not picky. I am. It's my view, actually. I hate when a knife has to be deployed with two hands. It doesn't make any sense for me, for the functionality, for the kind of way I want to play with my knives. I want to use one hand to play with my knives. And actually, this makes this knife even more special to me, because there's no other knife in my collection that works that way. No other that I can deploy with with two hands like that, with a lockback. There is nothing remotely resembling to that. So it's another way for me, regardless of the knife, its quality, how I can use it as a user, because that's a fantastic user. I mean, who wouldn't want to use that knife? There's no fancy material. The blade is like stonewash. That's a user that I use, actually. That's a work of art, and that's something that I play with in a manner, in a fashion that I don't with any other knife. So that knife, has really some nice features and resonance in my mind that makes me love it even more. I really like Raphael logo. Sorry, I'm digressing, but it's kind of a kind of wheel like that. I don't know what it is, but it's subtle. You don't see it almost, and this is what I like. You know, it doesn't spoil the blade there. So yeah, very special knife in my collection. That one has been really the further I've ever seen, but still far from my fingers. One of the very special knife in my collection that I am really proud to present you. And yeah, friends, again, it's kind of hard. People who own Raphael Durand knife are unlikely to part with them. So I don't know what to say. If ever you have the opportunity to put your hands on one of his knives, by all means, you should really try it. I'm super happy with mine, and I can't wait to add another one in my collection. Actually, the one that I'm aiming now will have a thumb disc here, so I won't have to use like my two fingers like that. I will deploy it with a thumb disc. And I can't wait to have this knife, which is called the Badass, which it is actually. When you look at it, it's a real badass. And this one is the Frelon, as a reminder. And with that being said, my friend, I'll leave it at that and catch you very soon because as you know, everything is better in threes. I've started with Philippe Georget, the last review, now Raphael Durand. And of course, I am missing the third of the three the magical three, the magic French team of the tactical knives. So my next video will be about my buddy Thierry Savidan new design, the Xerox. Have a great day, my friends. Bye-bye.